Hey, welcome to Strange Tales Weekly Live.
What's up, guys?
Strangers.
I'm Eric, and we got Joe over here,
What up?
and we got Majunga Mike down below.
Hello.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has. When was our last live stream? I mean, it had to have been like at least 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago. I think we did it in June, like 3 years ago.
That's wild. Was that the water guy?
That was Mark Hoffman, who has the greenhouse bed and breakfast and does permaculture.
Okay.
So that was cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of good ones. That was fun.
Yeah, but had to take a little hiatus, but now we're back at it.
I don't even know if a hiatus is appropriate.
Yeah.
We got Renee says, "Sup, yo, UFOs, extraterrestrial
All
alien."
right, that's what's up, Renee.
He's in the right place. Yeah. So today we're gonna talk about our first 2 episodes of the new season, and maybe give some behind the scenes, some backstory, and see where it goes. If you have any comments or questions, pop them into the comments, and if we notice them, we'll say something. Do we want to kick it off by just starting the episode now, or do we want to give it a few? We have 5 people in right now.
Sure, yeah, let's play it.
All right. So the first episode was the Beast of Bray Road, and it starts now.
Wisconsin has its fair share of cryptids, but not all of them are as cute as the hodag. Some of them are big and hairy and stink of rotten human flesh and wet dog. Meet Wisconsin's resident werewolf.
The Beast of Bray Road is a legendary creature said to roam the rural areas of southeastern Wisconsin, particularly around the town of Elkhorn. The creature is described as a bipedal, wolf-like creature standing over 6 feet tall, with a snout-like face and grayish-brown hair. The legend of the Beast of Bray Road dates back to the early 20th century, when reports of a strange animal sighting began to surface. However, it wasn't until the 1980s that the legend gained national attention. At that time, several residents of Elkhorn reported sightings of a large, hairy creature with glowing eyes prowling along Bray Road. One of the most detailed descriptions of the Beast of Bray Road came from a woman who saw the creature in 1991. She reported that the beast had a canine-like snout, large fangs, and glowing eyes. It had a muscular body covered in grayish-brown hair and stood on 2 legs like a human, but with a hunched posture. The witness estimated that the creature was about 6 feet tall and weighed between 400 and 500 pounds. Many people who have seen the Beast of Bray Road describe it as having a distinct odor, which has been described as a combination of wet dog and rotting flesh. There have been numerous sightings of the beast over the years, and many people believe that this is a real creature that is still roaming the woods of Wisconsin. However, there is no scientific evidence to support the existence of the beast, and some skeptics believe the sightings are nothing more than a misidentified animal or a hoax. Despite the lack of scientific evidence, the legend of the Beast of Bray Road continues to intrigue and fascinate people. Many residents of Elkhorn and surrounding areas claim to have seen the creature, and there are numerous websites and forums dedicated to discussing the legend. Whether the Beast of Bray Road is a real creature or simply a legend, it has become an important part of the folklore and culture of Wisconsin. The legend has inspired countless stories, movies, and works of art, and continues to capture the imagination of people all over the world.
So what do you think? Does the Beast of Bray Road actually exist, or are these cheeseheads throwing back too much spotted cow? Let us know in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel, like and share our videos. That helps a lot. And remember, stay strange.
All right.
Yeah, so Beast of Bray Road.
So what was it like going up there?
It was cool, partly just because I've never gone, other than going to Amityville. Like I haven't really done a whole lot of checking out places where things have happened. We did a whole ton of episodes in the first iteration of the show, and it was all research and stock footage and things like that. So it's fun to actually go film my own stuff.
Did the locals talk about it much?
So there was like the couple clips that I had in there of like the werewolf in the front yard, like so there was like a couple of those like throughout like along Bray Road. I drove Bray Road from one end to the other, because it goes far enough, but it didn't go like crazy far. So like there was that acknowledgement, and then like those Bigfoot like silhouettes that you'll see in people's yards sometimes. There was like a werewolf silhouette in somebody else's yard, but you can see it down the hill by the garage, but I couldn't like really get a video of it. Plus, every time I tried to stop and take videos of things, somebody would come driving down the road, and I'd have to like move because I was being a jerk.
Well, that's pretty cool. So I guess there are some tourists that go there for it.
Yeah, and there was like the one business was like something about the moon. I'm pretty sure that was a reference to it, and so yeah, it was a cool little town. It had a nice downtown, kind of one of those Route 66 looking areas. Some of the old cars and some different, some of the buildings were a little older.
It's cool to see though that they somewhat embrace the whole Beast of Bray Road thing, because it's like some towns like Hellier. I don't know if you ever got into that show, but like it seems like the locals there get really annoyed when people go down there and start asking questions. But it seems like they buy into it and they play off it, which is kind of cool.
That was my experience in Amityville. When you get to the house, there's like signs around it saying like "Go away," like
yeah.
like those poor people.
I think the scariest thing about the Beast is that he's jacked. He's just buff. Like I don't know what I would do if I saw that. I probably wouldn't leave the house for a while.
So driving down Bray Road, it's all farmland from start to finish, with like little sections of trees, but there isn't like the big forest that I expected. Like I expected to drive like through like when you drive down like through a forest preserve or something, and there was really nothing like that. So there was like some areas of woods, but I picture like a werewolf lurking in woods, and that wasn't really something that was too possible over there. But
yeah, I didn't realize the sightings went back so far before this. Like I guess the first one 1936, the guy Mark Shackleman saw this wolf.
uh
Yeah,
Kind of reminds me of like
1964.
kind of reminds me of like Skinwalker Ranch a little bit, where there was a similar wolf, like an ancient wolf type figure that appeared, on the ranch, and they were able to identify it. It was like from, dinosaur type eras, like really long time ago. So I wonder if there's some kind of like portal connection maybe that could make it plausible.
yeah, this stuff's always interesting.
I always thought there might be like an interdimensional thing to cryptids.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they can come and go and evade detection.
In my Dulce comic, I was going to be working that angle. Like the one security guard was a werewolf and stuff. Like, so I was kind of mixing the cryptids with and we had a team that was based around hunting Sasquatches and stuff. So that's always something that I've been curious about myself.
It's kind of like the shape shifting with natives. They'd wear the costumes and stuff and take psychedelics, and maybe it's related somehow.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned the Hodag at the beginning of the episode. That was a throwback to an old episode of ours. I tagged it on YouTube, so if somebody's watching it, they can click through and check out Cards, the Hodag episode. I actually drove past the Hodag town when I was up in Wisconsin last year, and I absolutely had no idea that it was like right there. It's such a bummer when I realized.
I wonder if the Beast will come back. I don't know if we want it to or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the last sighting of it was. Now that I think about it, there was a lot of like it boiled up in the 80s, it seemed, and yeah.
Yeah, I like the format, that you actually got some feet on the ground and some actual real footage. A lot of what we do is B-roll, and you're actually able to get on site, on location. I think we should do more of that stuff in the future.
Yeah, like I mounted my camera on the front of the car, and
Nice.
not on the front of the car, in the windshield, not on the front. I do have a suction mount to do that, but I didn't go that far.
Yeah. There's a lot of places around the Midwest and Illinois that would be interesting.
Yeah, the next trip that I took was out to Indianapolis, and there's a state park out there that I filmed at for another upcoming episode. So it's fun to see what's around. I don't know why I never did it before. When I was a kid, this was like all I wanted to do was monster hunt, and like it took till this long to finally get out and do some of it, I guess.
By Watsika, there's some kind of like ghost lantern thing. Have you heard of that? Where you like go to some place and supposedly some lantern starts walking closer and closer to you.
Is it part of the Watsika Wonder House thing or no?
I think it's separate. I think it's around there, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm always scared of catching an entity, or something like that.
I'm not scared enough of that. At work, they were just making me tell a couple stories to one of the interns, because last year I was in Dallas and I set up all my stuff for work. I set up all my stuff on the bed and I went and took a shower, came back, got dressed, but I had my polo shirt. I had it set up. I had it nice and neat on the bed because I had like 40 minutes or something before I needed to be where I was going. Went around the corner and picked up my phone to check if there's any messages while I was out. And then I came back around the corner and my shirt was like balled up on the floor. Like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, in like the corner, like next to the bed. And I was like, where'd my shirt go? And then it was like down there. And then there was another time in the last year where I was at work and I was setting up a desk in my office to have a meeting. I put my water bottle down. It was like this aluminum water bottle and then my notebook. And I turned around to work on something at the computer while I was waiting. And like 3 seconds later, there was like this pop, like in the middle of the table. And my water went shooting off the table and my notebook like was like dangling from the table. And like, so there's some people that think that I might have something attached. Nothing happens at home though.
My buddy Corey dropped in the chat. He said it's called Lantern Lane. That's what he.
Lantern Lane.
Yeah.
We should make a short list. We're all in Illinois, and I've always joked around getting a tour bus, a Strange Tales tour bus, and we can hit up all these popular spots in our area.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we could do a whole bunch of filming doing that stuff.
I actually work at it. My day job is at a bus dealership, so I could probably find a cheap one.
Get an actual bus.
There you go. Yeah. I was actually passing through Wisconsin last week, and I don't know if you ever been like to the Dells area, but it's like main tourist thing is for kids and water parks and stuff like that. But I was kind of surprised that there was a ton of billboard attractions for like haunted tours and things like that. So I don't know if there's anything to that. I didn't get a chance to really research it, but it just kind of threw me off. I'm like, Wisconsin Dells, you wouldn't expect to have a bunch of like spooky stuff, being advertised there, but apparently there is.
We were out in Hannibal, Missouri a couple weeks ago, and we visited this old.
That just sounds terrible, Hannibal, Missouri.
That's Mark Twain territory. But we visited this like Gilded Age mansion, and it was cool. Like it's being restored, and I went there as a kid, and the tour person there told us stories about how like the third level was haunted, and so I always remembered that, and me and my dad would talk about that all the time. So I took my girlfriend and my son, and we went there while we were out at St. Louis. We swung back through there, and it's a new guy bought the place, and he was doing the tour, and I got a moment like where it's just me, him, and my son in a room, and so I asked him about the hauntings, and he was like, I'm not really in tune to that stuff, so I've never seen anything. And I was like, oh, come on. Like, I want to hear all the cool stories since I left last time. But then we were in a room at one point, and I saw the picture. I wish I had this prepared, but I saw a picture of the original owner, and I looked at it, and I turned to Suzanne, and I was like, how come the original owner looks just like the new owner? I was like, that feels creepy.
Reincarnation.
Right. Reincarnated and bought the place back 100 years later.
It's like the photo in The Shining when he looks at him, like he sees him.
So there's all kinds of stuff in the Midwest.
Yeah. Paramount and Kankakee is supposed to be pretty spooky. Yes. All those old buildings, there's got to be all kinds of history.
I know. I never even heard any stories about that place, but just going down that hallway to the bathroom was always creepy to me.
Yeah.
The stairs.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of I went to Gettysburg, and I know there's tons of ghost tours there.
Yeah. Gettysburg was cool. I've been there
haunted places you can stay. I don't know if I would do that. I think I'm good on that. Yeah, I used to, have crazy out of body experiences and stuff like that, but lately got more spiritual and just that kind of went away. So I don't know. I think the more you dabble in that, the more it comes to you, and I play it safe these days. Getting too old for that.
Right. Oh,
yeah. It's kind of like these people that talk about extraterrestrials. They're like, "Oh, abduct me" and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't think you really want to be abducted.
No.
Some of the stories that they say, what they do in there, I'm like, doesn't sound fun.
No, I don't know if there's any stories that do sound fun.
Yeah. The vast majority of them are horrible,
right.
unless somebody is making a buck off of it, and they're claiming that they're channeling some aliens and they have the top secret information.
Yeah.
Then there's some good stories, but
So our second story this week, do we want to get into that one?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Was the Creepy Clown Craze. Well, if you want to do any kind of setup, Mike, or want me to just play it?
I think we could play it, and then we'll do brief
setup in there.
Yeah.
Cool. Then here we go right now.
Oh, hey, strangers. I'm Mike Gentile from the rock band Majungas. Why don't you grab your favorite candy bar and pull up a seat? Because this strange tale is quite the treat. What is it about clowns that make them so scary? Whether it's Pennywise, Joker, killer clowns from outer space, maybe you've experienced some form of coulrophobia, as they call it. But for me, the clown that gives me the most chills goes by the name of Homie the Clown. And no, not quite the same Damon Wayans character from In Living Color. It all began in October of 1991 during a clown craze in the Chicagoland area. The hysteria was sparked by a series of initial reports that an alleged figure impersonating Homie the Clown was driving through neighborhoods in a white van, enticing kids with candy and money, sending parents and school districts all up in a panic. Nobody quite knew what Homie the Clown's motives were. Fortunately, no actual crimes were ever reported. But rumors of what Homie was after for spread even more fear. Everything from abduction to molestation and even murder was being discussed. As the weeks went on, additional sightings came in from various locations and with fluctuating details. Authorities got involved, and although some claims were dismissed as fabrications, many could not be disproven. It was widely speculated that the initial reports spiraled into somewhat of a domino effect, motivating a variety of people to partake in the craze. This made it very difficult, if not impossible, to separate real threats from hoaxes. Growing up in the west suburbs of Chicago myself, I can still remember being a kindergartner when the principal sent warnings over the intercom to go directly to the bus, your parents' car, or walk home in a large group, and don't stop to talk to a deranged clown that might be driving around the neighborhood. Scary words for a kindergartner. It sort of felt like I was in a horror movie. As fast as the story caught fire, it faded, and went mostly forgotten. So that must be it, right? But
Homie don't play that.
A string of bizarre clown sightings occurred throughout the country around the same time as Stephen King's It remake, which was released in 2017. The details vary from location, but many incidences resemble the Homie the Clown narrative that I grew up with. The sketchy-looking clown popping in and out of neighborhoods, schools, offering candy and money. But this time around, crimes were being committed, and some of them were very serious and ended up in arrest. Additionally, in the era of social media, some of these mysterious clown figures created profiles and posted threatening messages to schools. This sensationalized the saga even more and has been called things like the Creepy Clown Craze or Killer Clown Epidemic. The phenomenon became global. But just like my childhood homie, the story ran its course, then dissolved. So what do you think of these clown stories? Are they real? Urban legend? Maybe you have your own Homie the Clown-like character from your neighborhood. Why don't you weigh in on the discussion and share some of your own experiences? And as always, stay strange. Want to hear a joke? What's a clown's favorite candy bar? Snickers.
That is some high level comedy there, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah. Don't ask me to redo that laugh, because that was one take and I'll never be able to match it.
Yeah, I do love the touch of comedy you put in your videos. That's good.
Yeah, the beginning with the honk and all that. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a clown. You kind of have to get a little goofy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, this it's funny. I wore this suit in particular because in that mask that I had, who I nicknamed now Snickers the Clown, that was a costume I put together just like by the seat of my pants at a Halloween store, just throwing random things together. Wasn't sure what it was going to become, but it ended up becoming a clown. It was a pretty good costume that year, so I resurrected it for the episode. But what made me want to do the episode was actually during the slowdown after season 1, The Strange Tales, and I kind of pulled this one out when there was a bunch of resurgence of very similar things that happened to me when I was a kid in the early 90s. There was a clown figure driving around, like I said, neighborhoods, and kind of sent our area up in a panic. I mean, I do remember being in kindergarten or first grade, and like over the intercom, the principal was saying, you know, be careful, this guy's out here, police are warning not to engage, all that sort of thing. And you know, we're like walking down the blocks, like looking, you know, and we're like, what color is that car? Is it white? You know, and so it was scary, but I don't think we could comprehend danger. I remember our parents being like more scared than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's super creepy though.
Yeah,
especially considering John Wayne Gacy is also like Chicago area.
Exactly. Yeah, but you know, it kind of had similar you know, progression than like the current ones do, but the only difference I think was we didn't have social media, you know, so we just had the local news. And when you kind of look at the progression of the story, it started off as outskirts of Chicago area. I think it was Oak Park actually, which is right outside of the city. And you know, things didn't spread like wildfire right away. You know, it was probably just one person. It's like a few weeks before Halloween, so probably just one person was just having some fun trying to scare some kids, and you know, did it a couple of different areas until they, you know, gave up or got scared or whatever. And then when the reports started coming through the police and the news did a report on it in the papers, then parents and schools started to freak out. And then I think more people got more ideas, but again, it's local news, so it was relatively contained just to the Chicagoland area, and kind of fizzled out quickly. But then you look at, you know, fast forward to current times. I mean, there was the 2010s had a little episode, and the 2020s also had an episode. But now, you know, social media, things go viral overnight. So it's like, you know, and then it became more global too. They were happening all over, and more malicious, you know, more violence, more crimes being committed, things like that. But very similar, you know, they're always really creepy. They're just kind of looming around schools and neighborhoods, and they scare people, and, you know, it's people have their fun with it, and then it's over with, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned in the episode that the second or that last one was right after the It movie came out.
Yeah.
So that made me think about it a little bit. The first one was in 91. The original It series that was in 90. So I wonder if that's had any kind of relation.
It's true. Yeah, I wonder. I know obviously the show that Damon Wayans was on, you know, popularized the Homie the Clown character, so he kind of took that name whoever this person was had mentioned it, and that's what ended up getting in the police logs. But yeah, I don't remember exactly when the original It was. And if
it was 1990. I looked it up.
1990. Yeah. Okay, so yeah,
right before the first ones.
Well, yeah, so yeah, people were probably like scary clowns were like at an all-time high probably at that point.
I know my dad is terrified of clowns, and it all started like right around then.
Yeah.
But not red balloons, I guess. We have Jess in the chat.
What up?
He gave us a wave.
Yeah, I'm sure most of the clowns were just trolling, but that's pretty creepy. Could have got worse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Midwest is also responsible for a clown that probably killed more than any other clown. It was Ronald McDonald.
True.
Straight out of Des Plaines.
Sneaky.
I didn't realize they were out of Des Plaines.
Yeah, well, that's also California. So there's like there's a story there.
It's even worse than John Wayne Gacy, I guess.
Yeah, they've probably killed more than John Wayne Gacy.
It's very, very, very sneaky serial killer, Ronald McDonald.
Well, we could talk a little bit about what we have coming up. I know mine's going to be on the Hat Man and Shadow People in general. That should be the next video. And I also want to do one on Who Built the Moon. There's a book called Who Built the Moon, and it's about all the weird stuff about the moon and just how impossible it is that it lines up perfectly to create eclipses on Earth, and just all the weird stuff about the moon. And they're saying maybe it's a spaceship, or to me, it's like more evidence of creative, intelligent design, though. Just all the stuff behind it.
That's wild. So. Yeah, supposedly the Apollo astronauts saw aliens on the moon or UFOs or something. Like, there's a lot. There's been a lot of stories about the moon, so that's interesting.
There's also things about the hollow, it being hollow, and they I don't know how they pinged it somehow, and it rang like a bell. They said, but yeah, a lot of odd stuff about the moon.
That's cool. My next one is about it's the one I mentioned earlier that I did some filming in Indianapolis, or outside of Indianapolis for. There's these little people that are called, I think it's the Puckwudgies. I get a little confused, a little mixed up, but that's supposedly people have seen them, particularly around this forest preserve, and they go back into Native American legend. So I found that interesting.
Is that like the pygmies? I think they're in New Zealand or something, aren't they? They're small people. This one's really small.
The thing that creeps me out about this one is that they're 3 feet tall, so they're not Smurfs.
Yeah,
it's almost creepier.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I find that Native Americans tell stories that go back, centuries, and they're all kind of dismissed as legends, and none of it could be real because it's so wild. And I think some of that stuff there could be something too. But the site is also the site of these mounds that were there's a identical set somewhere else in Indiana and also in Ohio. Ohio is filled with mounds like that, but this one has there's 3, I think, that kind of are all extremely similar and kind of align with certain things. And they're from I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they're part of a native group from 900 AD or something. They go way back. Might even be older than that, but so I found that pretty interesting. So that'll be my next one, which will be, I guess, in a few weeks.
Mike, you're doing. Oh, should we even?
Is it Mel's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that's
I
gonna
don't know if we should drop the zinger yet.
Well, yeah. There was something strange going on in the Pacific Northwest in the late '90s, allegedly. So I tapped into that one. A very big void.
tapped
ground.
into the hole.
Yeah.
Penetrate the mystery.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of humor in that one.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
picking the funny ones.
I will say though, there was like a wave that I rode with that one, because at first I'm like, this is all going to be punchlines and jokes, but then the more I got into it, the more I kind of like bit into it, and I'm like, okay, there might be something going on here. So I went through some different changes of perspective as the episode went on.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a lot of punchlines in there.
There's only so much you can hold back.
Yeah, I would like to do more like on the ground type stuff like you're talking about. Now it's more just research and B-roll, but that would be cool to get out there. We all work a lot though, it's hard to find the time to do everything.
Yeah, especially with my travels now. It's like, holy crap. Like at least once a month I'm traveling through the rest of the year. Yeah. And the summer's almost over.
Yeah.
That. So that makes a difference. But that would be fun to get out to a couple places at least or something. Sounds like Watsika has a couple.
Yeah.
The one, the Watsika Wonder House is actually like a bed and breakfast or something now. Either that or it's on Airbnb.
Nice.
Well, I don't think we'll get Joe there though.
No, I'm good.
Don't need to catch that.
I want to do some like possession episodes though. I always found that fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
All right. If you do research, I'll go there and film some stuff.
Yeah, that can work. Mike, did you have anything else about the clowns you wanted to say before we?
No, I think I covered pretty much what I needed.
All right. Yeah. What's that? What's it called? The phobia of clowns? What's that word?
Oh, coulrophobia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I maybe borderline have that. They are pretty creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play on it a bit, and then I got more sensitive as time went on. I started to meet a few people that actually like legitimately had coulrophobia, and
yeah, I think my dad 100%.
Yeah,
does, like for real. Like,
yeah,
he actually was going in for a surgery one time, and he was I don't remember what hospital it was at, but he was there, and behind him was a clown, and he like freaked out and like canceled the surgery or something. Like it was like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, he was not having it. It was just it was an omen, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a legit.
We could probably do an episode on John Wayne Gacy. Of course, that's been covered quite a bit, but there's an even deeper conspiracy theory about him, that he was connected to some big deep state network of child traffickers and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, because there was like a list. There was some like pedo in jail that he was one of them, like worked for him, and then that pedo in jail had like a list of clientele that like disappeared. Larry Potash on WGN did a little segment on this way back in the day, which I was surprised to see. I sent him a message about it too, and he responded, which I was surprised.
Oh wow!
But yeah, he thought something was going on there.
Yeah, I think I remember that Larry Potash conversation you were talking about.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah, I think that even a topic that's been covered a lot, like if you could find a new angle on it, like it can make it worth covering, especially when you only have to do 3, 4, 5 minutes on it.
Yeah.
So I think that's worthwhile.
Yeah. Just don't want to end up dead.
Yeah. Every now and then I think back to mine and Jess's first our start into this realm online and the crazies that we met and all that.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this again?
Well, that reminds me of the Sound of Freedom movie too. I just saw that, and that was suppressed for like 5 years, and like nobody wanted it, and now it's just like top the box office, beat Indiana Jones, and
I forgot.
yeah, and then the mainstream media is just denouncing it, making fun of it, calling it exaggerated. Rolling Stone and Guardian, all this makes you wonder who they're protecting.
Right.
They got to tie everything to QAnon, even though the movie has nothing, never mentions anything close to QAnon, and it's all like documented stuff that happened, even has like real footage. But yeah,
QAnon made it too easy.
yeah, they can just drop that QAnon. That's the weaponized term now, like conspiracy theory.
Yeah, when I was a kid, conspiracy theory was something. Sometimes it was scary. Other times it was just fun to like go down that rabbit hole. And now it's just like something you're not allowed to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
care too much.
yeah, but like the it shows the difference between like the audience and the people and like the media, because it's like the movie, like the audience loves it, and you know it's like topping the box office, and they're just totally disconnected from the people and what they want.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, and the mainstream outlets that are you know, talking bad about it, they're getting like so much hate in the comments on their posts and stuff. So it's kind of promising.
Social media team's busy.
Yeah. Yeah. To be in charge of like marketing. We saw with like Bud Light. Can you imagine being the
Dude, these
woman
days, like I've
who
seen,
made that?
even in like the industry I work in, I've seen like entire marketing teams get fired over like just a bad social campaign. Like it's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
It makes you scared to do anything sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Bud Light
Like-
losing billions. Yeah.
It's nuts. A lot of craziness out there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, what's so next week is the one is yours, right? That's
Yeah, gonna finish up the Shadow People, Hat Man, and it's also covering Jinn and just paranormal entities in general,
cool.
and the possibility of them being interdimensional. Which I even think aliens, you know, could be. A lot of abduction experiences happen when people are like sleeping or like half asleep, and I think it's some kind of interdimensional aspect to a lot of them.
I'd like to do a video sometime about USOs. I always found, those I always found very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much of the ocean that isn't explored. Most of it, like the vast majority of it. So you have to
wonder how they keep from imploding. Probably
right.
built better.
Well, if they have anti-gravity properties, you know, the forces of that extra atmosphere wouldn't really harm them.
That's true.
Yeah, it would actually be really smart, you know, if you think about, you know, where could they hide, where they could basically guarantee no human will be able to find them. It would be.
Isn't it crazy?
You know,
because like we can go to the moon, we're close to like heading to Mars, but like we still can't get to the bottom of our planet. Like,
yeah. And everybody's like, "Oh, life on Mars!" You know, it's like while we destroy like the whole ecosystem where we live.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our world will start looking like Mars if we keep going the way we are.
Yep. Nuts.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next week will be that, and then we'll pop back on and do another live.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thanks everybody who joined us. Thanks for everybody in the chat.
Thanks for watching, listening, and we will catch you soon. Stay strange.
All right. Stay strange, everybody.
We'll see you.
And